Hello, it is me, Indigo Let. Let me just check the phone real quick. Oh no, don't do this. Don't do this. Oh, come on. All right, I'm gonna have to check it via. And let me check the YouTube then. Um, I'm just trying to screeches. Why screeching? Oh my god. Oh, can you hear me, Bree? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. All right. That I was like, I'm trying to get back onto my Facebook, but I had to. Oh, I missed you too. Um, but yeah, I had to. I had to re-log into my Facebook, and I forgot my password. So I was just trying to see if I can listen to it on there, but it's okay if you can hear it, then it's probably playing on there too. Let me look at the YouTube real quick. Let me see. Get on YouTube. Uh, Hello, it's very in and out. Oh, okay. Is it? 'Cause I can switch. I can switch over to like the computer mic. That might be better. But I was like, I'm trying to use this little. Hold on, you can see it. This little mic here. But hold on. Hello, it's in and out. Get me. Hold on. I wonder if the mic's because this mic has to charge. Oh, okay. Let's try. Hold on. Okay, I'm on the YouTube now, so I can hear myself. Okay. Oh, no, no. Sorry. Okay, I'm on the YouTube now, so I can hear myself. Okay. All right. So I am Indigo Led. This is Strive Sundays. Let me turn myself down. Jesus Christ. All right. So anyway, okay. So this is Strive Sunday. So this is just going to be um, like an introductory video. Like we're not gonna really dive deep into anything. But if you have any, I'm on the YouTube now. No, if you if you have any questions for me, or any questions for Strive, you can ask them in the comments section, and I'll try my best to answer them. If not, we will. Trying to think, we will try to get with the board and try to answer them the best way we can. I was just trying to go back to doing these because four. Anyway, I try to go back. It's four, Bree. It's four. No, uh, what's 19 plus eight? How about that? 21. So- 21. No. Um. So with these live streams, I want to bring them back because I feel like we do have meetings, but everyone can't make those meetings. And then as well as it's Pride Month, so I was really trying to um, just try to bring back these live streams, and just I'm hopefully going to keep trying to do them. Maybe every other week, maybe every week. I'll try to see, but I'll let you guys know. Well, duh, you live in Missouri. That's why you can't make the meeting. Um, but yeah, so trying to think. But yeah, so if you are in the Pensacola area, we at Pensacola and you are in Missouri. um, but if you are in the Gulf Coast area, especially like Mobile, Pensacola, in like the Santa Rosa County or anywhere near it, we do have meetings every Wednesday at 6. Stop. I tried to get that out of my head. Sorry for party. All right. So anyway, we we meet every Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Black Cafe and Bookstore. Um, So it's on Davis and what is that? MLK Boulevard. So right where the highway is, there's this little fork that gets in the road. That gets in the road. The fork that's in the road. Not a little fork, but it's just a split in the road. Yeah. And so uh, so we meet there. So if you are in the area or if you're living in the area, you want to come see us, that's where we meet. Um, Other than that, we do table at different events. There will be, yeah, I don't know why somebody would leave a fork in the road. That'd be weird. But yeah, we will be tabling other events, especially this month because it's Pride. There will be, I know there was it a there's a we're gonna be at two places at once at one of these weeks. I know one of them's 18 plus S&M show. I'm probably not going to that one. And then and then the other one's something else. I can't remember, but it's like a regular drag show on the other side of town. So like it's gonna be two things happening at once. And then, so we're gonna be tabling at two events, obviously, and then Pride for us is on the 28th of this month. So the actual day of Stonewall riot. So that was the day of. So and that would be at the fairgrounds. In Bellevue. I want to say this in Bellevue, but anyway, yeah. So we'll be there for that, and then trying to think what else we're doing this month. Um, we were just at 309 actually, just yesterday for a Black Burlesque show and the history of the Black Burlesque, and that was really great. I'll try to post the videos either later today on Instagram or on Monday, probably later today, probably. There's some pictures, and I got a video of her, and she was great. Oh, they were great. I'm sorry, they used they them pronouns. They were great. And it was amazing to see, like, just learn the history of. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, like I don't know. I guess with everything that's going on, Pride Month just kind of like came upon us really quickly because it was like, whoa, it's already June. Um, And then another day that's important, my birthday's coming up. So that's on June 22nd. It's a Sunday. I don't know what I'm going to do for that. Some people want me to do a party. Some people want me to, I don't know. I might just chill. Yeah, it's very important. I don't know. I mean, I probably might be on here for a live stream for that. I mean, it is a Sunday. Here is acting up back there. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it is a Sunday, so I might do a special just birthday stream. Um, and I might, if I can, I don't know if I can hook anything up, but I might try to play a video game or something like that. But or I'll just be here talking. Um, but yeah, so like I said, we're Strive, we're Socialist Trans Initiative. So our um, oh my god, that'd be insane. um, but yeah, so we're Strive, we're Socialist. What's it called? Sorry, my legs are itching. Socialist Trans Initiative. So we're an activist organization in the Gulf Coast community, and what we do is take donations from the people, and that those donations go to my phone did something anyway. Donations go to um, like uh, trans people across the Gulf Coast area, and so that money goes to let's say transportation, HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, or any other medical services. Because sometimes you might just we might have a trans person that just needs to go to just get a checkup, right? But they for a physical or something like that, and they uh, the copay is like 25, $35, and they don't have the money for it. And so we try to help pay for that. Um, we try to help with housing as well, especially just temporary housing, not like permanent housing. We don't have the money for permanent housing. I wish we did. That'd be amazing if we had that. Because I would love to be at that stage where we're like, hey, we've got a bunch of tiny houses or something like, or hey, we have, um, some what's with the dogs? Anyway, we have, we have so many things that that we can provide. So but we're not there yet. But hopefully soon we'll be in. a situation where maybe we can help provide those types of things. But for right now, it's just temporary housing. Um, what is that? The Shiba Inu with wings. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what we do on that end. Um, our meetings as of right now, they've been mainly, they've been mainly talking about the news and things like that. But there's also been, um, it's also been, what you call it, like educational. So like this first meeting, we talked about like the history of Pride, um, and things like that. I think it's gonna be next week's gonna be part two, and then the week of Juneteenth, which is like June 19th, that week, the June 18th one, we're gonna do kind of like Black queer history. So I'll be doing that one, Black queer and trans history, and why is it so important to include Black and brown people in the movement, in that regard. So, and I think the last week is, I can't remember the last week of Pride we're doing for that one for the meeting. So, but if you'd like to come out to those, we're going to try to get those recorded so we can post them later with subtitles and things like that. The first one was kind of janky because it was on here. I don't know if it was my phone's fault or whatever it was, but yeah. Aw. And then so we're trying to do all that. So the trying to think of what else we're doing, announcement wise. But also, if you wanted to donate, we have a PayPal and a Cash App. So both of those are just under Strive Pensacola. Um, and so I mean, even like $5, it doesn't matter. Um, we just take anything because like we just want to help our fellow queer and trans people out. Um, so with that, I'm trying to think of anything else. Um, before I get into just like simple um article looking at stuff or just simple researching article stuff. Um I can't think of anything else. So so what we'll do now is also just with my room, I don't it's a smaller room. Uh I don't This is probably the best shot, honestly. Be quite honest with you. Because my other room it was bigger, and I was like, oh, I have a little table thing, and I got all this stuff, but I don't have that now, so I have to just kind of make do with what it is. Growing up as conservative is annoying because I call J.K. Rowling a freaking nerf gun. Yeah, she is a turf gun. I'll tell you that. So, um, so let's see. So when I research certain topics or like um a good site that I look at, uh I didn't know the other word. Um a good site that I try to look at when I do certain research and on trans queer and trans topics is called them, funny enough. So it's a site where they um I think they're pretty politically balanced. I'm not gonna, they're not either way, but they lean more to the left, obviously. But it's just they're not like an extreme on one end or the other. But they definitely lean more towards the left with their news and things. So, but it's good anyway. They let me see. Let me show you the site. I've got a screen. Yes. Okay, that should have worked. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, wait, what happened with the biggest gay breakup? What happened with that? Oh, 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 yeah, oh, yeah, the Elon Musk, Trump thing. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it might be in there. It might be in this. It might be in this this site because honestly, they would talk about that. I'm sure there's some salacious people on. um, but yeah, like that. Oh, look at that Sesame Street. Anyway, they so yeah they So yeah, the Elon Musk and Trump thing is really wild right now. They are going back and forth. The boys are fighting, I guess. Um, and I think I know Musk had said that like something that we probably knew anyway, that Trump was part of Epstein's island, or like they were there, right? So, but then again, it's like you worked with this man who like obviously was around a PDF file, right? Like you were around that, so like, huh? Like, so like you're guilty by association too, homie. Like I don't know what to tell you, but like now you're just being like super petty and stuff. But I mean, both of them being petty, but it's funny. I just it's insane. But yeah, so let me. So yeah, them.com is a site where you can get like it says up the top here, it has like news, culture, entertainment, style, community, advice and answers, shop, and video. So you can get a lot of things from this site. Um, we can just go down to some of the articles. Actually, I might enlarge this. Maybe hold on. Oh no, it's already there. The zoom is insane. Let me do that. So there we go. Oh, let me just let me not do it. There we go. Okay. So you have one that says like celebrity Natasha Cloud is Poppy of the Year. You have like TV shows and TV and movies. It says there's no one like Tremel Tillman. Um, you got the Sesame Street said Happy Pride. Now conservatives are frothing at the mouth. You know, on the right side over here has Jonathan Joss' husband says fatal shooting was a homophobic hate crime. So you kind of got like a plethora of like different. Yeah, it is like a scoring girlfriend. You um you have like so many different topics and just in that I didn't even scroll all the way down, but it was like already, you know, um something, and I totally forgot to talk about the Jonathan Joss situation. So but yeah, the Jonathan Joss so Jonathan Joss, sorry, was the he was John Redcorn on King of the Hill. And I know he did he was in Parks and Recs for a little bit. I don't know if I didn't get to the season when he was in there. I don't think, but he was in there. There's clips of him, talking about like I think he was like joking with um I forgot her character's name about like uh different like it you're building something on my people's land and stuff like that, and he was messing with them because it wasn't their people's land. This was some regular land or something like that. He was but he was like the representative, the Native American representative, to like help them like not build on like their people's land, but like he was like messing with them, saying like you build this is gonna mess up my ancestors or something like that. And they were like, oh no, we don't want to do that. It's like okay, but I'm kidding you, I'm kidding you. That's some regular land. Don't worry about it. Um but it was but yeah, he unfortunately got shot and killed by a homophobic neighbor, actually, and he jumped in the way of his husband actually getting shot, and so he protected his husband from that. So, um, and I just want to remember him because he got shot this month. He got shot and killed this month. So it just reminds you of like, you know, even there have been some gains in the queer and trans community, obviously, but there's still ways to go in like just our liberation in general. When someone like a celebrity like Jonathan Joss gets shot and killed because of homophobic hate, like it's just it makes you realize that like we still have a lot of work to do, just as people, and and just to continue to like fight for our rights and everything. Uh, yeah. Oh, okay. I see that snake. Anyway, um, so but we can get into the article. So, for example, let's just get into that article real quick so we can show you like this is what I would do on like a normal uh Strive Sunday. So I'd go to this article and then as you can see it says Jonathan Joss's husband says fatal shooting was a homophobic crime. And then for y'all I would okay. Yeah. For y'all I would enlarge this because I think on your screen it's really small. And so yeah, you see like his picture here. That's Jonathan Joss. Like this is you can see Pawnee. So you can see that was his character in Parks and Recs. So let me see if it shows up on the. Uh, get out of here! Get out of here! I already signed up. That's good. But yeah, there's his picture there. And so let's see. Yeah, and there's some. I might. Well, no, we don't need to do that. We probably just need to go through the details. I was gonna like, oh, I'm not gonna. But yeah, actor Jonathan, and then usually what I do is I'll like highlight a part so you can keep along with what I'm reading. You can keep up with what I'm reading, I guess. So you can see like, oh, that's the highlighted part. They're reading this, right? Instead of just reading it and you don't know what I'm reading or get confused. Um, so anyway, let's just go through the article real quick as like an example of what I would do. Actor Jonathan Joss, 59, was shot and killed on Sunday, and this was last Sunday, so this is June 3rd. So um, actor Jonathan Joss, 59, was shot and killed on Sunday in what his husband says was a homophobic crime. Police have charged Joss's neighbor, Sigfrido Alvarez Ceja, with murder, according to the New York Times. Joss was Apache and Comanche descent. Um, Josh, hold on, let me, and then I would just go down a little bit, and I'll just do this again. Hold on. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Josh was best known for voicing John Redcon on the long-running animated sitcom King of the Hill, and playing Chief Ken uh, Hotate in the NBC comedy Parks and Recreation. He also appeared in Tulsa King, Ray Donovan, The Magnificent Seven, True Grit, and more. Um, let's see. And then I'll go down here. According to the San Antonio Police Department, officers were dispatched to a shooting in progress around 7 p.m. on June 1st. When the officers arrived at the scene, they found Josh, who had been shot multiple times. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Uh, and yeah, that's a picture of him right there. Oh wow, he's born the same year my mom was, 1965. No, no, wait, my mom was 63. My dad was 65. So yeah, um, yeah, and then let's see, and then we go down here and go like, I'm gonna stop right there. There we go. Okay, so in a June 2nd Facebook post shared to Josh's account, his husband Tristan Kerndale de Gonzalez wrote that the shooting occurred while the couple was checking mail at their former home, which he said was burned down after 2 years of an openly homophobic harassment campaign. Kern de Gonzalez is also transgender, as he confirmed in the comments to the Independent on June 3rd. I didn't know that about his husband. Let's see. He and were ma- Josh Josh were married on Valentine's Day this year. Kern de Gonzalez claimed in his Facebook post that although the couple reported the threats to law enforcement multiple times, police took no further action, according to the GoFundMe page. The house was Josh's childhood home, and the oh my god, and the three and three of the couple's dogs were killed in the fire. Jesus Christ. Um, let's see. According to Kern de Gonzalez, upon returning to the site of their former home, the couple saw the skull of one of their dogs and its harness placed nearby, causing them several emotional distress. Yeah, I bet. Meanwhile, a man alleged to be Kea approached and started yelling at them violent homophobic slurs at them before raising a gun and firing at them. Police say they confiscated a rifle from Seha, who allegedly told the officers, "I shot him shortly after being arrested." Seha was released on a 200,000 bond. Jesus Christ. Um, and then, wow, I didn't even know about this. This is actually good to know, actually. Here, well, this is something I didn't know. Anyway, while I'm holding him, he had a gun pointed over me, and he's laughing, saying, "Oh, you love him?" I guess Joto Kern de Gonzalez later alleged to the Independent, Joto is a Spanish word for the F word. I never knew the word until I came to Texas, and then I heard it a lot. Um, F slur, sorry. Let's see. And then let me do this because I can kind of go down here. Okay, there we go. As the NBC News reported, Josh and Kern de Gonzalez had been at odds with some of their neighbors for several years, especially Seha, whom Josh had accused of burning down his home in January. Uh, oh no, the power's going out. Uh oh, shoot! I saw that. Hold on. So, okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, my mic, the little mic thing I had, it went out battery power wise. Um, so I'm just speaking on the computer now. Hold on. Can't believe it. I can't believe it done this. Can't. I can't do an accent like that. Anyway. Uh okay. So did I read that full part? Oh, in the wake of the shooting, some of the neighbors described Josh's behavior to reporters as erratic. Kern de Gonzalez told the Independent that he and Josh but were loud but never violent, and that Josh was dealing with the trauma and had been subjected to years of racist and homophobic remarks from neighbors. Jonathan and I had no weapons, Kern de Gonzalez wrote in his Facebook post. We were not threatening anyone. We were grieving. and we were standing side by side when the man fired. Jonathan pushed me out the way. He saved my life. Yeah. Um, let me see. Let me see. I think Kern also said, if your concern is how we cope with trauma or how loudly we speak when recounting injustice and being ignored by authorities, then you never truly cared about my husband, he continued. In the remarks, in his remarks to the Independent, Kern Gonzalez added that he found it really sad when people treat other people when they're having a mental health crisis or going through trauma. It's okay to be a little sad, but if you're in a state where you're yelling or whatever, that doesn't get the same grace. It's actually true. What? No. There. I clicked on something else on accident. All right. And then, but yeah, that would be an example um, of an article that we would do, right? Um, and so I just wanted to give you an example of that. Let me go to another one that's maybe a little lighter than that, but that is an example of I don't know what that is on Twitch. Anyway, uh, but yeah, so I think everybody can hear me now, right? So I had to switch my mic off from the regular mic to the computer mic. So, um, but yeah, so let me go to another article. Let's find. Actually, let's do this one because I know this was in line with what it's a little probably lighter and a little more funnier. So it says, "You stop! Oh, commercials everywhere. I can't buy a Toyota Tundra or Toyota Grand Highlander. I can't. See how big that thing is? Like, where y'all driving in? Like New York or something? The hell? Look at how big that thing is. Look how big this car is. Look at it. Ain't nobody. That thing cost a little less than a Nintendo Switch. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, no. This thing is like $400. Nintendo Switch $500. What's up? No. Uh, okay. But let's go to the article real quick. Um, so we have Sesame Street says say Happy Pride. Sesame Street. All right. Okay. Sesame Street said Happy Pride. Now conservatives are frothing at the mouth. Um, and then the quote under here is like, I am once again asking PBS to stop grooming children. The House Republicans Conservative Caucus X account replied in a since deleted post. Okay, so Sesame Street has been around for, I want to say the 60s, right? So, and they've been on public television, right? PBS, right? Public Broadcasting um, Station, I want to say it's called. Um, but recently they had to move to, I want to say HBO or Cinemax or something like that. I think they were still on PBS, but because of this new administration, they and cutting of funding for public projects or anything that's like that, it cuts funding into, um, it cuts funding into what you call it. Let me check my audio again. Okay, yeah, it's good. Okay, yeah, it cuts funding into like public stuff, like public things that we need. Like for example, they're talking about cutting Medicaid, right? So Medicaid was already something that like it's hard to get. It's like you have to be like dang near on the street, if not already on the street, before you get Medicaid, right? Um, and then for this is like public access, television or just public broadcasting television. A lot of times, public broadcasting television, it for me, it's always kind of leans slightly towards the left, just because the information of it is given, and just you're just giving information about life and about the different things in life. And so, having a kid show, with kids, they're going to learn about life. They got to grow up, right? So, as much as you want to have them stay being kids, they need to learn about the world around them. And so, a good show for that is Sesame Street. So, Sesame Street would often teach you not just numbers and history and, um, lessons to be learned that are interpersonal, but also just, you know, about different people and about people from different walks of life and what they do and, how they are. Right. And so, and Sesame Street is about, let's, I'm being comedic when I say this a little bit, but like, it's of the streets. It's the streets. So, like, you're going to walk across different people in life in the streets, right? You're not going to just like, it's not going to be just straight people all the time. So you're going to walk across people who are going to be of different, like, sexual and gender identities. And so as a kid, you know, it's good to kind of begin to learn that. You don't need to learn what they do with that, but just learn, like, hey, this person is gay. Well, that means that they love the same gender. Or hey, this person's transgender and they feel this way, but they actually, or they were born this way, but then they actually feel this way, right? You know, you didn't even have to say they were born this way, but they grew up raised a certain way, but they feel another way. It's very easily, you can very easily explain this to kids. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but it depends on the parent and everything. But like a lot of times, you can explain this stuff. It's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be explicit. It just is like a simple explanation. And a lot of kids will, if they sit back and listen to it, they're like, I get that. If Tommy wants to be, that's not a good name for that. If I'm trying to think, if you know Kyle wants to be Kylie, right? Go Kylie, go. No, I'm just kidding. If if Kyle wants to be Kylie, right? You know, that's not a hard explanation to make, right? It's not like it's, oh no, it's like, hey, they feel this way and they want to be this way. Let me see. Sorry, my phone is on. So I am. Hold on. Okay, the mic's still working. I had to check in on my thing. Anyway, so yeah, um, these things are just they're very simple to explain. I may not be the best person to explain it. I'm not a gender studies degree person, right? Like they can probably explain it a bit easier. But at the same time, too, maybe I can explain it better than they can. Maybe use more layman terms. More basic terms for kids, and then we explain that stuff. So I just think sometimes, a lot of times, people get like up in arms about these types of things, and for me, it stifles kids from being able to learn more about the world around them. So then when they encounter it with hate rather than encounter it with like love and understanding, right? And that's, but honestly, for me, I think that's what they want. They want kids to not understand these things because, number one, if they are of that, maybe they are part of the LGBTQ plus community. Now they learn, like, oh, there's people like me, and I can, you know, learn more about myself and grow as a person, right? And that also may combat my family, but we will have that conversation and we gonna talk, right? But like at the same time, if the kid turns out to be straight, and cis, right? Just cis straight kid, they grow up and they're cis and straight. Now they have an understanding about their fellow classmates and their fellow coworkers or their fellow, people around them, and they'll have more empathy, what I'm saying, and more compassion for what their fellow students are going through instead of being the bullies that hate them because they don't align with um, you know competitive, not competitive. That'd be funny. Competitive heteronormality. It's I think it's comparative, something like that. Comparative heteronormality. Yeah. So anyway, let me get to the article. Sorry, I was on my soapbox real quick, but I just you see these things and you're just like, man. Um. So yeah. So obviously, Bert and Ernie has been like I think they've been a couple since been since. I think they were alleging to that in the 70s and 80s, and I think in the 90s, I think they started to mention it a little bit, and then I think in the 2000s, the 2010s, they actually I think admitted that they were like, yeah, they're a gay couple. Um, yeah. Let's see, what did they post? That's awesome. Hold on, let me. Oh, okay, okay. Let me go back. Okay, let me see. Okay. So you have Sesame Street posted something adorable to X in honor of Pride Month, which means that Republicans are once again accusing the beloved TV show of grooming children. The post, which was published on June 1st, excuse me, on June 1st, let me get some water real quick. Sorry, I've been talking. Mm. Anyway, the post, which was published on June 1st, um, featured a graphic of arms of various residents of Sesame Street arranged in rainbow order. On our street, everyone is welcome, the post reads. Together, let's build a world where every person and family feels loved and respected for who they are. Happy hashtag Pride Month. I mean, that sounds simple enough, right? I think that's good. I think as look at that. This is on X, right? So on our street, everyone's welcome. Together, let's build a world where every person feels loved and respected. As you can see, all the arms and everything uh, going across and all the colors of the pride flag. Um, yeah, let's see. So it says a totally innocuous post, and yet because this is 2005, right wingers are lost their minds. In a since deleted post, the Republican Study Committee, a conservative caucus among House Republicans, replied, "I am once again asking PBS to stop grooming children." Alongside a picture of Bernie Sanders. What? Oh, okay, okay. There's a meme. That's right. There's a meme with Bernie Sanders going like, "I'm asking again to." Yeah, it's that meme. Okay, but they just did it with that. Okay. Anyway, alongside a picture of Bernie Sanders per the Hill. Although the RSC's post is gone, various Republican representatives post to X on Monday expressing their similar sentiments. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Trying to highlight this real. Okay. Representative Mary Miller of Republican Illinois is a member of the RSC as well as the similarly conservative Congressional Family Caucus and the House Freedom Caucus posted on X on June 2nd claiming PBS is shamefully grooming our children while collecting taxpayer dollars. This is evil and should infuriate every parent in America, she said. We're finishing with a call to defund. Okay. So there's other things that are going on in your country, and this is what you okay. So anyway, okay. um so other House Republicans responded to a separate viral video on X posted by the right wing account, the Patriot Oasis, consisting of a clip from a 2020 episode of Not Too Late show with emo that features Jonathan Van Ness as a guest. In the clip, which is less than a minute, long, Van Ness introduces a monster called Alan, who's undergoing a makeover. Again, completely innocuous stuff. Hold on. And yet, Representative Andy Biggs, Republican of Arizona, reposted the clip, accompanied by nearly identical language and rhetoric to Miller's post, writing PBS is grooming children on taxpayers' dime. This is unacceptable. Congress must defund them and hold the executives accountable. Oh, okay. As you can see. Actually, let's see this clip if it's going to.
It's time to finally unveil Alan's monster makeover!
Wow, it's uncanny. Ellen looked just like Jonathan Van Ness.
Cookie Monster, Cookie. That is Jonathan Van Ness.
Elmo, Cookie, are you ready to see my monster piece?
Ready, Jonathan!
Mama Bear, some runway music, please.
Oh, yeah.
People and monsters alike, a round of applause for the Not Too Late Show's newest monster, Alan. Ta-da! Alan Monster is wearing the latest in high monster fashion with a set of sleek horns, fluffy fuzzy fur, all topped off with a monster honker.
Here's Alan!
Oh, that was controversial. That was I that was so much. The kids are gonna really it's gonna blow up their heads, man. Because our kids are from 1785. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh, what's happening to me? I don't know. What? That was the most innocuous thing. I would, just the humor. I would maybe like to see the full clip, but I'm sure that was the majority of it. And I'm like, that was it, bruh. All right. So anyway, I'm glad they showed the clip because I was like, I'm hoping everybody heard that. If you heard the clip, if you didn't, I'll replay it. Just let me know in the chat. Um, but I was loud enough for me on my side, so I don't know if it was loud enough for you on that side. But like I said, if you didn't hear it, I'll replay the clip and everything. But yeah, let's get back to the. How do I do this? Do I go back like this? No. Hold on. There it is. Okay. And then. Let me see something. Oh yeah, okay. And then both Sesame Street's Pride Month post and the clip from the Not Too Late Show with Elmo also received plenty of hateful replies from the non-congressional right-wingers who also falsely claimed that such content is inherently inappropriate for children. That's keeping with the White House attacks on both PBS and NPR since April. Which they've been trying to attack both of them, and in an effort to defund both of them, honestly. In a statement posted to the White House website on April 14th, the White House accused both PBS and NPR of spreading radical woke propaganda. The first example of which is the NPR feature about queer animals. In May, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that directed federal agencies to seize federal funding um, for NPR and PBS on June 3rd. The White House officially sent a formal request to Congress to cut 1.1 billion in funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which both funds both NPR and PBS. Okay. Let's see. In a statement issued May 2nd, PBS President and CEO Paula Kurger, called Trump's executive order blatantly unlawful and said that it threatens our ability to serve the American public with our educational programming, as we have done for the past 50 plus years. We are currently exploring all options to allow PBS to continue to serve our member stations and all Americans, she added. Um, that's right. That's right. Okay. Um, it's on Netflix. I thought it was on HBO or Cinemax, but anyway. Thankfully, Sesame Street will still be available for viewing on Netflix as well as PBS and PBS Kids as per recent acquisition, which, like, that's its own problem because let me get out of that for you. Hold on. There we go. But yeah, I think it being acquisition by Netflix is its own problem because everyone may not have enough money for a Netflix subscription, right? Because what is it like now? $17 a month, $18 a month for maybe $20 a month now for a. Sorry, the lighting is. There we go. You can see me a bit more clear. It's weird. Anyway. Yeah, yo. Anyway, no. So so yeah, I think it should have stayed on public broadcasting. I know the subscription services are the newest thing now, but um it's I think for a lot of people they may not have the money for subscription services, and so because of that, it's going to limit people's like access to Sesame Street and PBS shows in general. I know YouTube still has a bunch of all the Sesame Street stuff. So like if you do have a kid and you want them to get access to that type of stuff, I'm sure. Man, right now, I would probably put them on YouTube anyway, just for that. But I just think that's the one thing I have trouble with the streaming services because it breaks up like just regular TV. It breaks that up. And so kids can't just get access to just sitting down and just watching a show. They now have to get it via, streaming service. But the good thing about the streaming service is like you don't have to worry about. Well, never mind. You got to worry about commercials on there too. Never mind. All right. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that story. Like I said, it's good for the kids, I think, to learn different things about the world around them, so they're ready to be able to handle it with grace and love and compassion and understanding rather than hate and ignorance and just any sort of like because when your kids are hateful and spiteful and unsure of themselves and unsure about the world around them, and they lash out to other kids, you're basically having traumatized kids now affect kids who are going to be traumatized by the kids that are originally traumatized. So it's traumatizing the traumatized. You know what I'm saying? It's like this circle of of hate, this circle of like this sort of attack. And so it is now going to affect kids growing up who do figure out they're queer, do figure out they're trans, and now you got kids who are coming from other homes who may be queer and trans themselves, and or just were raised to not like queer and trans people, or they're thinking them differently, and so because of that, now you're going to have that battle still happen through K through 12 when it doesn't need to be. It could just be like, hey, these kids are like this, you're like this, accept each other, right? And get along, like as much as you can. We try to do that with race. Obviously, still that needs to work in progress. But with gender and sexuality, and also disability too, like a lot of times, we're not taught about how to respect people's boundaries with disability, and also just understand them better to a certain point, and like how to maneuver the world to help them, right, and make the world more accommodation for them as well. And so that's something we also need to learn. No matter if you, like, for example, I'm autistic, right? And ADHD. I function, decently, um, because I have to mask a lot. So I mask a lot, and I mask almost so well that people think I'm just neurotypical at times, right? But there are people who come in, funny enough, that come into the place I work, which is a library. What the hell, this hair? I swear to God. Anyway, it did it more. It did it more. All right. So anyway, um, yeah, forget. You just gonna see it today. You gonna see it tonight. All right. So anyway, so when I'm trying to think. So you autistic. So I have people. The people that come. I work at a library, right? A library, right? So there are people that come into the library who are way. Not, I don't say it like this, but you obviously know that they're autistic. You obviously know they're mentally, they have mental health issues, right? They come in. They come from a home, and I love. They're amazing. You get speaking with them. They just want to read a book, and they just want to get their book, get their movie, and enjoy the library, enjoy and probably just enjoy being out because a lot of them they stay at a home, so they don't really probably go out too much. And they go, it's like a field trip for them, um, and that just saying something right there. Like I can get in my car right now and go drive somewhere, right? But for them, they've had to stay in that home because unfortunately, maybe their parents couldn't handle them, and they can put them in that home and just pay a fee. I guess they pay a fee for them to be there and all that. And like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so it's a lot taking care of people like that. And so, but when they have these mental health issues and things like that, you kind of see yourself like, wow, there are people even within my own community who have way more needs than I will ever need. And I need to respect that and like understand that we need to fight for those people with the higher needs. Like, yes, I have needs too as a trans person, and that is important. And I do need to fight for myself on that regard. But like, there are also people who have way more needs, what I'm saying? And if we can attend to those people's needs, it would also attend to my own needs, and then everybody else who is maybe not neurodivergent, right? And so it is the thing of helping the most vulnerable. If we help the most vulnerable, right, in our communities, then that will help us out too. Like it, it 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 gives you something that you never would have thought you had. It helps you out, right? I'm trying to think of things that because I talk about the curb cut theory all the time. I was trying to think of another type of like thing that could trying to think um maybe for example like closed caption, right? So closed caption, if you're on Facebook you're probably seeing it. Closed caption, I think we do have closed caption on there. uh YouTube and Twitch, I don't think there's closed caption on those. I mean, YouTube does have it, but I think you have to click the thing on there. But Twitch I don't think has closed caption. I don't think it does. It probably does. I just there's probably some feature I need to change on that. But like I said, closed caption, um you see the words at the bottom, you're able to read it. For people probably who were deaf, right, they couldn't hear, they can read what's being said, and they can look at the person on the screen and go like, okay, I can see the action they're making, I just can't hear what they're saying, but I can read what they're saying and I can understand. Well, that also helps with people watching anime, right? So if you're watching anime and you're watching it subbed, you don't know what they're saying, they're speaking Japanese. Guess what happens? There's some subtitles on the ground that translates for you what's being said. Same thing with any video that's coming from a different language. Now you're reading it, and it's like, right? What's being said on the screen. So that's not only helping out people with disabilities who are deaf, right? It's also helping anybody who maybe the movie's too fast for them. Maybe things are happening too much and they can't hear what's being said. Maybe they have, you know, some hearing issues, but also maybe they just get overwhelmed with picture and words at the same time. They just get a little bit, it's still too much. So they're like, oh, I can just read what's happening at the bottom, and I can kind of still see what's going on. I might, I can do both, right? And so that helps out so much. But like I said, the curve cut theory is it should be pretty universal. It's like you're helping out the most disabled or the most disadvantaged of us, which is usually the disabled, and that in turn helps out everybody else. So like I think that's very important to keep in mind when we go through Pride Month. If there's any sort of queer trans people, especially people who are disabled, who need your help, please help them as much as you can. Um, and stick up for your queer trans friends and people and just I know there's going to be back and forth, I'm sure, this month, but it's just good to keep us in mind and everything. And yeah, so we've hit our hour. I just want to thank everybody who came on and watched. Um, I really appreciate it. Thank you for staying with me. And like I meant to say this for the people who earlier, for the people who are gonna miss this live stream. For Twitch, it will be on for a week, and then I think it gets erased. Right? It stays on for about a week, and then it gets erased. For YouTube, it'll be on forever. So just go to socialist, and they just social initiative or just Strive. I think it's social initiative on YouTube, and we pop up. I may have to change the wording on that so it just says Strive when you put it into the search bar. And then for Facebook, it'll upload in about I think 10 minutes or something like that, and then you'll see my face and everything on here. And yeah, so we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. I still need to bring the blue sky up. I think we have a Tumblr too, which is if you find us on Tumblr. And then if you want to donate to us, we have Cash App, Stripe Pensacola, PayPal, Stripe Pensacola. I think we still have a coffee, and I think I know we still have a Patreon. And that Patreon is just if you, hey, I have money, I want to donate to this organization. I really like Strive, and I want to just do a consistent donation to Strive. You won't get any gifts. We don't have gifts up for that. But if Patreon's still around, I think they're still around. Yeah, they should be. So yeah, so that's what you can donate to us. I will try to be back next week. If not, I definitely will be the week after that, which I think will be my birthday actually. So if I'm not back on this next week coming up, this next Sunday, this next Sunday will be Father's Day. So I might be on at the same time, and then I'll probably go to my parents' house afterwards. And then the next week after that is my birthday. So 2 weeks, 2 Sundays from now is that. And then, but yeah. So like I said, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I think we got up to like 4 people, maybe 5 people in the chat. So that was nice. And like I said, if you caught this late or and you're on YouTube or Facebook, it will show up on YouTube or Facebook. It'll upload later, so you can watch this later. And for the Facebook people, it will have subtitles or closed caption. So, all right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate it. And we'll do this again. Bye.